So we got Carlos, and he gonna talk to us about the millionaire mindset.
Oh, okay. I say the millionaire mindset, and I say this because a lot of times people say, well, man, how do I get to my net worth $1 million? How do I get there? And from going from zero, what do I need to do? What are some steps? But the first thing I say is starts with your mind. And the Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your what? Mind. So you have to have a renewing of your mind. The other thing I say this is because a lot of the times our thermostats are set at certain degrees. Now, what I mean by that is that if you got your thermostat set at that I'm going to make $10 an hour, or I'm going to make $100 an hour, or it's $1,000 an hour, or whatever it may be, 10,000, 100,000, or $1 million a year, then that's all you're going to make. That's what your thermostat is set at. And so I'm telling you to recalibrate your thermostat. And what I mean by that also is like when you go into a house or you go into a business, whatever you go in your home, you set that thermostat on 70 degrees. When you set it on 70 degrees, it doesn't matter how cold it is outside. When you open those doors up and the cold wind comes in, the 30-degree winds, cold air, well, your thermostat starts adjusting itself so it can stay at that 7 degrees temperature in the house. Same thing with our minds. When we're set at a goal that this is what I'm going to make, I'm going to make. Well, my goal is $1 million. Or my goal is 100,000. That's what I want to make. Well, your thermostat is set at that, and you'll get that. And once you get that, the way you move past that number is you want to reset the thermostat to like $2 million or whatever it be, $200,000 to get to the next level. And a lot of times we fail, and we get to that number we get to, and we just wonder why year in, year out, I'm making $1 million. A year in, year out, I'm making 100,000. It's because my thermostat is set at that number. That's all I believe I can achieve is that number. So then the other thing is you're going to have to start learning. Because then you learn, then you earn. You got to learn. So you got to get you a mentor who's already doing those numbers that you want to hit. But you got to learn, whether that be, there's two types of learning. There's, I'll say this here, two types of training or education. There's formal and informal. Formal is when I go to the curricula, the schools, go to the colleges, those normal things. But that informal training is where I get from a mentor, from reading a book. That's informal. That's on the job training type stuff. That's informal. That's real valuable because you sit down with a mentor, a coach. And I say this to you. If you don't think you need a coach, you don't think you need a mentor, I tell you this, LeBron James, great at what he does. Other athletes, they are professionals making millions of dollars and they still have coaches. So why not you? That's my thought.
Carlos gonna tell you guys how can you stand out in the business? How can you separate yourself from the next person? You know, because your car lot may be surrounded by other car lots, but it's always something that you can do to stand out away from the other ones.
The key is finding your niche. Okay, and that's the niche. What can I do that's different than anyone else? What is attracting customers? Do I sell cars at every car under $3,000? Is the people in the area doing that? Or what's my niche going to be? What do I look like? First of all, when you pull up, is there something different about my location? Because at the end of the day, I used to tell people this in business, there's a Chili's right around the corner. So if you're not offering the right service, I can go to another one that's doing something. So there's a car lot around the corner. So what separates me? So when you come up to that car lot, the appearance, what do it looks like? You know, I always say dress for the job you want, not the one you got. So at the end of the day, what's the professionalism look like? Do I look like all the other car dealers look around? Am I dressed sleazy? Or do I look like a professional when you walk in and like you're about to talk to Dr. So-and-so? And the other thing is, am I setting appointments? Because then you come to a point where you say, hey, I'm an appointment only kind of person. Now you come by appointment, just don't drop by. Because now it sets a whole nother level. It sets a different expectation to the person who's coming in to the appointment. The customer thinks like, whoa, here's a by appointment. I just can't just drop in on him. And so with me starting on this business, so I can separate myself from everyone else, the other thing is you notice up front, I'm wearing a suit and tie. I'm not your typical car small lot dealer. So the other second thing is, so I got to do something to separate myself. Now when you walk into my office, you know, hey, wow, this is an establishment, it's different. There's something different about him. I had to set an appointment to get here. These guys, you got to set these present expectation that we move a lot of units with or without you. And when you come in here, I'm addressing a need. You have a need. You have something that you have a need. It's like a doctor, a specialist in cancer. Well, you came here, you want to get fixed, you need some treatment, you got a problem, you got a situation going on. So I am a problem solver. Let me solve your problem. I'm here to help. And here's how we do it. So now I'll walk you in here. There's a process we walk through. First of all, I set you down before we show you anything. I need to know, see where you are, give you opportunity to express what your felt needs are. This is an appointment. It is an evaluation. Figuring out when you go to the doctor's office, you got your lot looking pristine. You got to also establish yourself the difference between. They can't go up here and wonder if you're a detail shop. It's got to have a distinct difference. Is this a detail shop? Does it look like a chop shop? Does it look like it's a pull apart lot? You got to have a distinct clarity difference about your lot than any other location. Do I have banners? Do I have flags? Am I spending that extra few minutes to make it look like a place that someone wants to go? That is a attractable place to be.